From selling noodles to being a tech giant, the untold story of Samsung. Entrepreneurs are people with a vision that can change lives and also help a country grow economically. A vision like this helps society prosper by generating creative ideas and creating employment opportunities. A man from South Korea became synonymous with the electronic and smartphone markets when his company, Samsung, entered the market with their revolutionary technology. Samsung, founded by Lee Byung-chul in 1948, has seen its ups and downs throughout the years and is today regarded as a symbol of fortune, prosperity, and innovation. According to Lee, a country can be built only through its economy, and this is exactly what he did. Lee was born on the 12th of February 1910 in Wiryong County, Gyeongnam, South Korea, as the only son to a very wealthy family. Several generations of his family were landowners, and he inherited a great deal of wealth from them. Unlike most success stories, Chul's has a less financially difficult beginning. But despite his stability, he had his fair share of struggles and still managed to become one of the world's most successful businessmen. During his childhood, he attended the local schools in his hometown. He studied at Waseda University in Tokyo, but left without completing his degree. His father's death led him to leave education. After his father died, he used the property and money he received as an heir of the family to open a rice mill. The rice mill he opened was in his hometown, Gyeongnam. Despite his dedication to this first business, it did not succeed and sank without making any money. In 1938, Chul, following the failure of his first business, established an export company in Daegu named Samsung Trading Co. with only 30,000 won, which is about $27. The name Samsung means 3 stars, the reason for the initial corporate logo. With 40 employees, the company exported different goods and foods, including fish, vegetables, and fruits, along with their own made noodles to the Korean regions. From 1945 onwards, the company experienced a huge boom in growth, supplying goods throughout Korea and even to other countries. The company was then relocated to Seoul in 1947. During that time, Samsung Trading Co. was considered one of the 10 largest trading companies globally. Chul, however, had to face another challenge. This time, it was the war. After the war broke out in 1950, Chul had to relocate his company to a safer area in Busan. This change, however, was a boon for Chul. Thousands of US soldiers and military equipment flooded into his area, boosting his transportation business for the next year and a half. With his enormous profits, he expanded into flour and sugar milling, confectionery, and textile manufacturing, industries that were very much needed when Korea was sinking into poverty. In 1954, he opened Daegu's first wool factory, later becoming the largest in Korea. While the business grew, Chul made entry into the finance, insurance, retail, and security sectors. In 1961, General Park Chung-hee was in power, and Lee, who was in the United States, was afraid to return for investigations involving top business leaders. He eventually did negotiate his return and promised to cooperate with the generals. According to the agreement, Samsung is allowed to continue operating, but it has to be the carrier that implements the governmental projects following President Park's plan. Even though Lee surrendered to the government, such an arrangement established the nature of the Korean economic system in which the government and the business community shared a common ground of interest. As a result, the company profits earned in Korea can be interpreted as government subsidies in one way or another. On the plus side, Samsung has been making steady progress month after month over a long period of time, resulting in record profits and revenues. Chul believes strongly in industrialization and wanted the Samsung Group to become the leader in every field. Samsung entered the electronics industry in the 1960s to dominate the market. The company focused on developing innovative products and soon released its first product, a black and white television. By the mid and late 1960s, Samsung had already organized itself into 4 separate divisions, focusing on departments like semiconductors, telecommunications, hardware, etc. Samsung Electronics Devices, Samsung Electromechanics, Samsung Corning, and Samsung Semiconductor and Telecommunications. A major telecommunications company, Hangbuk Jeongen Tongshin, was acquired by Samsung in 1980. This was the year when Samsung Electronics Co. Ltd., the company's electronics division, was established. The company then began manufacturing a variety of electronic devices on a large scale, including telephones, fax machines, and computerized devices. The goal of Li's policy was to build domestic industries, offer affordable goods, and provide more jobs to people, as well as develop and expand industrial activities. Li's main intent was to establish national wealth rather than earn money. In retrospect, this was what made Li successful. It is possible to understand Li Byung-chul's success by understanding his philosophy. It consists of three basic motivations. Number one, employing business activities towards national service. Number two, putting people first. And number three, pursuing logic and reality. Later, it grew to include more principles, and now it is called the Samsung Spirit. We have summarized the importance of engaging in business for national service when Li cut a deal with the government. Man and talent first are probably the most essential explanations for Li's success. Rather than employing people for their simple manpower and simultaneously treating them like machines, he looked for their special talents, trained them, and gave them responsibilities. Pursuit of logic and reality is the third aspect of his philosophy that ought to be most crucial, but is sometimes overlooked. Li once said that logic and reality allow you to reduce costs and make affordable, high-quality products. This is why introducing advanced technologies and systems from advanced nations is critical to improving business management. This not only allowed Samsung to function efficiently and rationally, but also freed it from illogical connections, both domestic and personal. As part of Li's management style, he placed a strong emphasis on good quality and building a strong relationship with suppliers. This goal is of utmost importance to him, and he puts a great deal of effort into achieving it. All of these characteristics make him a pioneering entrepreneur, as well as an exceptionally good one. In order to have a successful business, he focused on straight lines. He was reliable and trustworthy. He could be sure of the quality of the products he establishes and have confidence in his business. Therefore, doing business with Li Byung-chul was not only highly recommended, but also highly promising. Li Byung-chul can be thought of as a typical entrepreneur. In addition to being the organizer, the owner, and an innovator, he was a visionary and the leader of the factory. In the beginning, he created the Samsung Trading Company, and then established the remarkable Samsung Group, which has its own vast network of divisions. Li's death on the 19th of November 1987 at age 77 in Seoul, South Korea, marked the loss of a great entrepreneur who helped shape the business world today. The revolutionary ways in which he led his company became a model for entrepreneurs today. When Lee Kun-hee took over from his father in 1987, the company had become a large conglomerate with interests in heavy equipment manufacturing, engineering, IT, and medical services. Samsung Heavy Industries and Samsung Life Insurance became two of Samsung's largest subsidiaries outside of Samsung Electronics. Even though Li Byung-chul and Lee Kun-hee have since passed away, Samsung's commitment to quality and innovation has made the company a major force in technology. Samsung Group is headquartered in Seoul and operates three major campuses around the South Korean capital: Samsung Digital City, Samsung Nano City, and Samsung Seoul R&D Campus. These three campuses employ around 73,000 people. A total of 320,000 people are employed by Samsung Group worldwide at 66 sites. Samsung's business empire reaches far beyond technology. The country's construction sector constructed the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. Samsung has come a long way from its humble beginnings in 1938 to the global empire it has today. In today's market, over half of all people will cite Samsung as their favorite electrical or mobile brand. Clearly, the brand is renowned all over the world and is deeply interwoven with our lives. Regardless of what happens, Samsung will always lead the way when it comes to new technologies. So that was all for today, guys. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We have a lot of inspiration in store for you. Thank you.